Hey, what's up everyone? It's your girl Brain Shanae, and today I am finally coming at y'all with a video. I know, long time no see. I usually just been doing some sprints here and there, or some shorts. And so I was thinking, okay, I have yet to do a June wrap up and a July wrap up. And I didn't even do an August TBR because literally August this month, it's just a lot happening regarding work and stuff like that. So I just been mood reading. So I promise y'all that there will be a August wrap up, but there won't be an August TBR, just FYI. So for June, I read a few things. I read a lot of manga, and then that's when I started new series when it came to, manga. But first, we're going to start with Iyanu, Child of Wonder, Volume 3. This is by Rui Akupe. Love this so freaking much. I'm excited for the TV series that they have going on that's in production. I forget when it releases, but I'm really looking forward to it. I gave it, of course, 5 out of 5 stars. I have no complaints about it. I'm excited for the next volume, which I just saw the cover for it, and I'm excited. So I cannot wait. So there's that. And then the next book that I read was by Brittany Griner, that was Coming Home. I really enjoyed this book by Brittany. It was well done. I also listened to the audio, which Brittany, was the narrator. And I really enjoyed this. It talks so much about sexuality and identity, what Brittany had went through when she was in Russia, right? We all know this, and we all know that there was a trade that was made regarding Brittany, between Russia and Brittany, and between, I forget who the other man was. I think he had created weapons or whatever, and that was our trade-off. And it just talks about her relationship with her wife, and and also talking about her maintenance of her locks that she had while she was in Russia, the treatment she was receiving, and asking her a lot of disrespectful questions. But I really enjoyed this book by Brittany Griner. If y'all haven't, if you haven't picked this book up, I suggest you do so. Brittany Griner is one of my favorite basketball players when it comes to the WNBA. So I had to read this, and of course I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. Now, I usually do not rate a lot of memoirs. It's just not what I do, mostly because this is their life story. This is what really happened to them. But as far as the pacing as the writing style, the format, I really, really enjoyed it. So when it comes to that, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. Now, I'm not going to rate anything regarding the book and the story itself, because this is a real life situation. So I really do not, I repeat, I do not rate memoirs. I'm only going to be rating them based off of how, the writing style and whatnot. But that's about it. But overall, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars for Coming Home. The next few is they're manga, and it's a new series called Honey Lemon Soda. So I read volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4. And what intrigued me to read Honey Lemon Soda was I was scrolling on TikTok, and someone introduced the series, and that's also going to be part of it's going to be an anime, and I'm like, okay, I am here for it. I really enjoyed this book a lot, especially when it comes to the main character, of how she wants to live a better life. She wants to actually have friends this time. She had changed schools and everything. She just wants to have a great experience, just a fun experience. And that's when she meets this guy who has this blonde hair, and his favorite drink is pretty much honey lemon soda. So it takes off from there. Their relationship is a little weird. He's also just trying to protect her, or just have her back at times, to see how she's doing, how she's progressing as of, making friends and whatnot while they're in high school. But overall, with volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4, I gave volume 3 4 stars, volumes 1 through 2 I gave 5, and then volumes 4 I gave a 5-star as well. And so I really enjoyed this. So I'm looking forward to continue with the series. I think the 5th volume just came out this month, so I'm looking forward to it. The next one, let me see, or excuse me, let's rewind that. So volume 6 recently came out. I also read volume 5. So volume 6 is a new one. Volume 5, I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. So excuse moi. The next book that I read, which I really enjoyed, I really wanted to do a book review for it, but it's just like, I don't know. I didn't know how I wanted to represent the book because it was so freaking good and I loved it. And it just makes me feel like I wish T'Challa and Storm, I wish we had a movie about them finally. But who knows? Maybe that will be in the works, with Marvel and stuff like that. Things will be a little bit different. Well, a lot different. But it'd be nice to see T'Challa and Storm, a movie. That would be amazing, right? So the book that I'm talking about is Storm, Dawn of Goddess. This is by Tiffany D. Jackson. This is one of her new releases that came out this year, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I love Storm. Storm is my girl. Like, I really enjoyed this book. If you have not read this book, you are missing out big time. So definitely check it out. Once again, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. The next one is a manga. It's Snow White with the Red Hair, volume 26. I was a little bit disappointed with this. I had waited for a very long time for volume 26. I read volumes 1 through 25 all last year because I really freaking loved the anime. And so I was like, okay, I gotta read this because I gotta see what happens with Shiryuki and Zen and what's his name? I can't, Obi, there was a few other people, Kiki. So there's a lot of characters. I'm like, okay, I need to see what happens next, because with the anime, they only had 2 seasons of it, and I don't think they're going to continue along with it. So I'm like, I gotta read these. I gotta read the manga. And I was very disappointed because I wanted to see some progress regarding Shiryuki and Zen's relationship, and it just seemed so stale to me. I still gave it a 3 out of 5 stars, but I felt like something was missing and I just wasn't feeling it. So honestly, I don't know when the next volume is coming out. I probably gotta wait a whole another year. I don't know. It's just, it was just disappointing. And so I was like, I was really anticipating this whole year, and this is it. Like, it was just a sad moment for me. But I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. The next book, I really enjoyed this book. I gave it, I think 4 out of 5 stars, which was Sunbringer, and that's by Hannah Kaner. This was my book club pick that we did a live discussion about, and we really enjoyed it, and we're looking forward to the next one. The next book that I read, now these are all picture books. I'm probably going to skip those because these are mostly a lot of books I read to my kids. I know, and I'm like, it will be a long time for me to get through this, but I'll just go through it. So one of the picture books is Calvin by J.R. Ford. I gave 5 out of 5 stars. The next one is Zora the Story Keeper, another picture book by Ebony Wilkins, and I gave 5 out of 5 stars. The next picture book is My Name is Long as a River. I also gave this 5 out of 5 stars. Now, most of these picture books are going to be 5 out of 5 stars because my kids rated them and they just loved them. The next one is Forever and Always. This is by Brittany Thurman. I also, my kids gave this a 5 out of 5 stars. And then the next picture book is Freedom on the Sea, the true story of the Civil War hero Robert Smalls and his daring escape to freedom. And this is by Michael, this is by, let me go back here. This is by Michael Bulwer Moore. And of course, my kids gave it 5 out of 5 stars. Now, this next one is the first manga in this new series. What inspired me to start reading these mangas for this new series is because of the anime on Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll has got me in a chokehold, to be quite honest with you all. And once I saw this when I was watching a Sign of Affection or whatever, and then this was the next best thing, I'm like, I'm here for it. So it is A Condition Called Love. This is volume 1. And of course I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I'm like, this is so freaking cute. I have all the other volumes, so I'm definitely looking forward to reading them. And then also, I haven't watched the anime for this one. I was actually trying to be good and read the manga prior to watching the anime, which my husband and I are now starting to watch it together, because he said once I finish the manga, he would watch it with me, because he's not a huge anime person, but he was like, I'll do this for you. So I started reading Demon Slayer. So I read Demon Slayer Volume 1 and fell in love with it. Gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. If you have not read Demon Slayer, I highly recommend it. It's really freaking good. I love it. Especially has demons in it too on top of that. Like, I'm here for it. So there is that. The next picture book that my kids rated was Cute Toot. This is by Brianna J. McDaniel. There was they rated it a 5 out of 5 stars. The next picture book is Caesarea Feels the Beach. My kids rated it and gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. The next picture book, The Boy Who Found His Voice. This is by Tyler Gordon, and my kids rated it a 5 out of 5 stars as well. So there are those picture books. And then I also read Bittersweet, which I enjoyed it. If I had to, for ratings, I was trying to determine what I want to rate it. I didn't want to give it a 3, so I gave it a 3.5 and then rounded it up to 4 stars. It was really good. It had a slow pace, but the premise of it all and things like that, I really loved. And I love the aspect and the concept of this story and of this book itself. And I really enjoyed it. So I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. The next few that I read in June were some graphic novels, and I started reading Lore Olympus. So I read, and these were all from my library, and so Lore Olympus Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3. For Volume 1, I gave 4 stars. For Volume 2, 4 stars, and also and then for Volume 3 I gave it 3 stars. And I just really enjoy Rachel Smythe's writing. It was really freaking good, and the graphics is so freaking beautiful. One of these days I do plan on owning them physically, hopefully. I don't know when, because they're expensive. But I might put it on my wish list and see what happens. But I really do want to own them because the art is just beautiful. Now the next one is, so these are some more manga. So we have Demon Slayer Volume 2 and Demon Slayer Volume 3. For Volume 2, I gave a 5 out of 5 stars. And for Volume 3, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. And then we have some more picture books. And this is with, sirens and black mermaids, which we love over here. And so we have The Little Mermaid by Jerry Pickney. We gave 5 out of 5 stars. For Mermaid Mackenzie, Protector of the Deeps. This is by Charlotte Watson Sherman. We gave 5 out of 5 stars. And then we move on to Volumes 4 and 5 of Demon Slayer. For Volume 4, I only gave 2 stars. I was a little bored with it, not gonna lie. But then Volume 5, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. So see how big of a difference my rating was with that? That lets you know I was really bored. Then the next one is Lore Olympus again. This is volumes 4, 5, and 6. I just binged all the volumes in June because I need to see what happens next. So for volume 4, I gave 5 out of 5 stars. For volume 5, I gave 5 out of 5 stars. And of course, for volume 6, I gave a 5 out of 5 stars. So there's that. Take my word for it, please. It's freaking good. I'm mad at myself that I waited so long to read it, but I'm glad that I read it and I really freaking enjoyed it. So highly recommend. The next thing that I read was a manga. It's Demon Slayer Volume 6, and I rated it a 4 out of 5 stars. And then we have some more picture books. So we have The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind, which my kids gave a 5 out of 5 stars. And then we have Martin's Big Words, The Life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And then my kids gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. We have Antonio's Amazing Gift, and this is from Encanto. And we gave a 5 out of 5 stars as a rating. And then the next picture book that my kids rated was Shaped by Her Hands, Potter Maria Martinez. And my kids gave this a 5 out of 5 stars as well. And then moving on to the next manga, which I read in June, was Demon Slayer Volume 7. Now, I was like, when literally after I was done with one volume, I was like, okay, let's borrow another from my library. Literally all of Demon Slayer that I've read in June, all from my library. I've been trying to utilize my library a lot more lately, especially now that I work at a library. So I'm just like, I'm always near books, because it was different when I used to work at Barnes & Noble, because it made me want to buy it. So I was in that environment. Now that I'm in a whole different environment of borrowing books, that's what I'm doing now most often. So yeah, so I read Demon Slayer Volume 7, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars for that one. And it was really good. And so the next one is another series, a new series that I read because of the anime on Crunchyroll. Now, do y'all believe me when I say Crunchyroll has me in a chokehold? I'm dead serious. So for this one particular is Vampire Dormitory. This is Volume 1, and I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. This is so freaking good. I highly recommend the anime. It has vampires in it, which I love even more. The next book that I read, which I gave a 4 out of 5 stars, is Anyaka and the Heroes of the Dawn. This is by Tola Akugo, which I love Anyaka. All the books that have come out so far are just spot on. So I love it. The next one is a manga. This is Vampire Dormitory. This is Volume 2, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars as well. And then I read, we read The Squish, which is a picture book that my kids rated, and they gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. So that was all of June. That was just June alone. Now, when we get into July, I was going nuts. I was going crazy. Like, all my years that I've been on BookTube, which I've been on BookTube for 6 years, this has been the top best reading month in the history of me being on BookTube. Like, I'm gonna let y'all know right now. So there's a lot of manga as well in this, so I feel like that's a reason why I also killed it in July. But I read a total of 51 books. Yeah, that's including manga and stuff. 51. That's not including picture books, by the way. So 51. So, and I got my little book here that I keep with all the books that I read in July and rated them. So the first book that I read in July, which was part of my book club pick for my members, and that was Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. The next one is Demon Slayer, how to continue on with it. This is Volume 8, and I also gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Then we have Demon Slayer Volume 9, and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. And then I read The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. This is by Carissa Broadbent. I love the first book, and I just needed to read the second one. It has vampires in it. It has a love interest. Like, I just couldn't resist. So I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed this book. I'm looking forward to the other books that are within this series. I know there's like a novella and some other books that are coming out this year. So I'm excited for it. The next one, which, oh my freaking God, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars, and I freaking love this book. And that is Mirrored Heavens by Rebecca Roanhorse. 5 out of 5 stars. When we get to have more information regarding Serapio's mother, and then the love interest between Serapio and Ciala. This was so good. The second book, Fevered Star, whatever, it didn't grasp my interest as this last book did with this series, and I freaking loved it. I would reread it again because it was really good, and we got into the nitty-gritty of Serapio's existence, of how he existed, how he was brought up, how he's made, and we learned more stuff about his father, right? His true father, mind you. So I don't want to say nothing else. I don't want to spoil y'all. If y'all haven't read Black Sun and Fevered Star and Mirrored Heavens, I highly recommend that you do so. But once again, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. The next, the next 9 mangas that I read are volumes 2 through 10 of Vampire Dormitory. Yes. So volume 2, I gave 5 out of 5 stars. Volume 3, 4 out of 5 stars. For volume 4, 4 out of 5 stars. And for volume 5, 5 out of 5 stars. The love interest is amazing. You gotta check it out. And then for volume 6, 5 out of 5 stars. Volume 7, 5 out of 5 stars. Volume 8, 5 out of 5 stars. And volume 9, 5 out of 5 stars. And volumes 10, 5 out of 5 stars. And then we continue to the last manga of Vampire Dormitory that's currently out, volume 11. And I also gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. So yeah, I was going nuts with manga in July. Now, these next few manga, I started a new series with it because I was like, once I was finished with Vampire Dormitory and I wanted some more vampires still in my life, I went ahead and started reading Happiness, which is the same person that also that has written Blood on the Tracks. So as I'm waiting for the next volume of Blood on the Tracks, I was like, why not read Happiness? So for volume 1 of Happiness, I gave 5 out of 5 stars. For volume 2 of Happiness, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. Volume 3, 4 out of 5 stars. Volume 4, 4 out of 4 stars. Volume 5, also 4 out of 5 stars. Volume 6, 4 out of 5 stars. Volume 7, 4 out of 5 stars. And then I took a pause with it. And then I picked up Children of Anguish and Anarchy. And I gave it 1 star. I was just not with it. I was bored. I feel like this is what we waited for. I'm like, what is this? I was giving Tamiami the benefit of the doubt. Like, okay, it's been years now. Maybe there's been some progress with the writing. The second book had me like, what the fuck? And so I was really scared to even read this third one. But like I said, I gave her the benefit of the doubt. And it was just not it for me, which is one of the worst books I've read so far in 2024. And then I moved on to Demon Slayer again with volume 10. I gave a 5 out of 5 stars. Volume 11, I also gave a 5 out of 5 stars. Then after that, I went on to the second volume of A Condition Called Love. And I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. I don't know. I felt like something... Like I watched the anime, loved it, but I feel like something was missing in this second volume. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna give it a try with the rest of the volumes because I have them. Then I read, this is the 7th volume of The Dragon's Knight's Beloved, and I just did not like it. I'm like, this is really stale. I feel like nothing's really happening. I just feel like this volume was something just like a filler because they needed to put something out there and it just wasn't it for me, which made me not want to continue with it. But I gave it a 2 out of 5 stars. And then I read Midnight Rooms. This is by Danye Coles. This gave me Mexican Gothic vibes. It was interesting. Talking like animal. It was interesting. It's dark, but it was really interesting. So I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. This next few manga is because I watched the anime on Hulu. not Crunchyroll this time, Hulu. And I discovered it because I was just going through, what I read and what it recommended me. And then I started watching Devil's Line, which is another thing, which they're sort of like vampires pretty much. And so I wanted to read Devil's Line. So for volume 1, I rated a 4 out of 5 stars. Volumes 2, I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. And then volumes 3, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. And then I jumped back into Happiness, which I gave the 8th volume. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. And then the 9th volume, I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. And then the 10th volume, which is the final volume of Happiness, I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars because it was so freaking good. It was so dark and scary and it was gruesome, mind you. But it was really good. So I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars for the last one in the series. And then I read When the Moon Hatched. This is by Sarah A. Parker. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It's marketed as a romantasy, and I was surprised. I didn't know if I was going to like it or not, but I really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to the next book when it comes out, which I'm not sure when. I'm guessing since this one came out in 2024, there may be another one in 2025. Hopefully, we shall see. But once again, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Then the next one, we have Demon Slayer for the next 3. So for volume 12, 3 out of 5 stars. For Demon Slayer volume 13, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. And for Demon Slayer volume 14, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. And then mind you, during July, you had Bree from the Lock Petition with Black Wayne, and she graces with her presence in July. So I was reading a lot of books for that, which is hence we had Midnight Rooms by Danye Coles, and stuff like that, and what have you. So I'm just being mindful of that. So July Noir. There was some books that I read for July Noir. And so for that we had Root Magic, which I finally read. Don't come at me, Bree. By Eden Royce, and I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I'm like, all right, I need another one by Eden Royce. So I'm gonna look into my catalog at my library and request, or put a hold on the next book by her. And then I started a new series because I was scrolling on TikTok. TikTok will get me. And they mentioned that this is going to be an anime. It's going to be coming out later on this year, I think in October. And I was like, oh, bet. So I started reading the manga. So I read volumes 1 through 3. So for volume 1, which is Nina, the Starry Bride, I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. And then the second volume, I gave 4 out of 5 stars. And then the third volume, I gave 3 out of 5 stars. Now, this is about a girl who has these starry eyes, and she's pretty much she was about to be killed, but then they gave her a proposition of pretend to be this girl who is like a noble or royal or whatever. So, because she's really dead, but we want you to pretend to be her so that we can save our country, pretty much. And she starts having a love interest with the guy that pretty much gave her this proposition, which is really cute. So I'm enjoying it so far. I think the next volume will be coming out sometime later on, like this month or the following month. I'm not sure. And then the next volume, which I really didn't love, and so I was like, nah, I don't think I'll finish. I'll continue on with it. It's called Reliving My Life with a Boyfriend Who Doesn't Remember Me. This is volume 1. It was okay, but I was just bored. I mean, there was some good things about it that was interesting, but it just wasn't for me. But I still gave it a 3 out of 5 stars, but I know that I won't continue reading the series. And then I went ahead and read the 9th volume of Sign of Affection. I love me a Sign of Affection. The anime is so freaking cute, and then the manga is just, and this is where Yuki Yuki ends up moving in with Atsuomi, and it's so cute. I love it. That's all I'm gonna say for that one. And then I went on ahead and read volumes, 4 and 5 of Devil's Line, and for both of those volumes I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars for Devil's Line for volumes 4 and 5. And then we move on to my next book that I read, which I left a review for, which is Eagle Rock. This is by Ian K. Smith. Definitely check out my review after you watch this long video, because I really enjoyed the book, and I definitely want to read more by Dr. Ian Smith for sure. And the next one that I read for July Noir was Bitterroot, which, if y'all can see, I was reading Ruby's Crew. So there's that. And Bitterroot, this is volume 2. I gave a 4 out of 5 stars. I really loved this. And so I'm definitely looking forward to reading the 3rd volume in October for Black Wayne for sure. Because it was really good. A lot of history is rooted into it. It's just awesome. It's amazing. Like, it's really good. And then I have one more volume that I read in July, and it's a new series that just came out, just started, and then the second volume just came out this month in August. And that is I See Your Face Turned Away. This is like a romance or love story between a girl who is pretty much has in love with a boy who likes somebody else, which is their friend or her or person that she knows. But then the girl that he likes, the girl likes her teacher. So it's interesting. So I'm looking forward to reading the second volume because it's going to be from the boy's perspective. So I feel like for each volume it's going to be from everybody's perspectives. But I gave it a 5 to 5 stars because it was really good. And then last but not least, the last book that I read in July, which I can't reach behind me, is Sleep Like Death by Caitlin Barron. I'm still determining if I want to do a book review. I've done book reviews for majority of her books, and I feel like I need to do a book review for this one as well. I'm just trying to find the time to like sit down and analyze everything that I read and present to y'all a well said book review for this. But I gave it a 4 to 5 stars. It's really good. People would portray it, or the marketing would portray it as a but a Snow White type of retelling, but it's way different than what you would expect, especially when you think of Snow White. So just keep that in mind. But overall, once again, I gave it a 4 or 5 stars. But that is it. July, I read 51 books, including manga, and that's not including picture books. And I was like feeling effing fantastic about it. June was also a great reading month as well. And I think manga, I've been in my manga era. Here I go. I've been in my manga era and I just can't help myself with it. But this manga and anime has really been my shit for the past couple of months. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, especially with Crunchyroll and Hulu coming in clutch. Like, I'm here for it. But that is it. That is my June and July wrap up. I didn't want to be on here too long for y'all, so I was going through them as fast as possible, as doing like a semi review on each and every book that I read that I read and that my kids have read. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you are staying healthy and staying safe, and I will catch y'all next time. Bye, everyone.